Hi, welcome back to Papa Croissant's Kitchen. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I'm back from Alaska and I have halibut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry up some halibut, and I want to go through the process with everyone, and it really turns out great. So anyway, this is a halibut out of Alaska. Caught it just about 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. My boys and I went up there with my brother and his son, and we just had a ball. And I've tried this recipe, and I just want to share it with everybody because it turned out really good. So what I do is I start to thaw the halibut, and I don't thaw it out all the way because I want to cut it while it's still frozen. And as this thaws out, I'll get back with you and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Okay, I have the meat prepared, the fish prepared, the halibut prepared. Ready to go. I'm going to start slicing it up. So I like to cube it, and I'll start on one side of it that's still fairly froze. And I'll just cut right down through the frozen meat and make cubes out of it. And when I get done with that, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, finishing up, and what I like to do is get it in about 1-inch cubes. And this is still good and frozen. It's easy enough to cut, but it's still good and frozen. And when I put this in the eggs to put the batter on it, I leave it in that for quite some time, and it will really unthaw this fish. So the next step is as we get ready to put it in an egg batter, and I'll come back when we're ready to do that. All right, I go ahead and I put 3 eggs in the bowl. We got 2 in there already. Put 1 more in there. I use about a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. I just dump that in there. Now I want to whisk these up right quick with a spoon. Fork, I mean. I'm confused. I'm actually going to put a little bit of milk in there also. So hang on 1 second. A 1/4 cup of milk in there also. Sorry about that. I didn't have that ready to go. And then I mix that in there nice. Get that pepper worked in there. Okay, and then I'm ready to put the halibut in here. So you just go ahead and put that in there. Still partially frozen, which is okay. I'm going to mix that in, and then I'll let this set out, probably for about 30 minutes or less, and it thaws out pretty quick. And then the next step is breading it, and when we're ready to do that, I'll be back. All right, the next step is to prepare your breadcrumbs that you're going to bread your halibut with. What I use is just an Italian style seasoning, crunch bread, breadcrumbs. I like to put a lot of spicing in it. I'll use a bruschetta Italian seasoning on that. I put a lot of that in there. I'll also use a garlic spread seasoning. I put it in, I mix it up, taste it to see if I like it. If I think it needs a little bit more seasoning, I'll go ahead and add some more seasoning. So we're getting ready to batter the fish here, or bread the fish here pretty quick. All right, I want to get the oil ready. I just use a regular canola oil. I fill up a pan about halfway. This is an induction stovetop unit I use. I really like it to heat the oil. I like to get the oil up to 425 degrees before I start frying. All right, we're ready to start breading the halibut. It's been soaking about a half an hour. It's nicely thawed out. It's not completely thawed out, but it's nicely thawed out, just the way I want it. So I get a slotted spoon, and I just take a bunch of that out and put it right in the breadcrumbs. When I fry it, I'll fry about 9 pieces at a time. So I'll usually bread about 9 pieces at a time. Yeah. get it in there and you can fling it on with your hands or get another spoon or roll it or whatever works best for you. If you run out of crumbs, of course, you can add more to it. All right, after you have it good and battered, I just take it out and I'll set it on a tray and wait to put it in the fryer. Then I go ahead and bread the rest, and when I get that done, we'll come back. All right, as you can see, we have everything breaded out and ready to go. At this point in time in the process, there becomes a lot of vultures in the kitchen, so you got to be aware of the human vultures that are lining up for this, because it's worth waiting for. So and they're lining up. All right, it's fry time. I have the oil up to 400 degrees. I just checked it, which I'm okay with 400 degrees. What I like to do is I like to put these in the hot oil so they separate, so they don't stick together right off the bat. So you'll see me drop them in a corner. I'll drop it in another corner. And I just keep doing that until I have about 9 pieces in there. I don't want to drop the temperature too much. Is anybody counting? Almost immediately you get a wonderful smell. Okay, we'll let those fry for 2, 3, 4 minutes. I'll show you what they look like when they come out. All right, it's ready to come out. I like to get them good and golden brown, so that's what they look like when they're done. I'll get the rest of these out and I'll cook the rest, and then we'll sit down and eat them. Well, guess what? It's time to taste the finished product. And I'm going to be the first one to get in here and grab a piece of this, and I'm going to put it in a little bit of homemade tartar sauce. And I feel the vultures coming right now. Thanks for joining me on this episode. I sure do hope that you enjoy using this recipe. It is really good. Best halibut, hands down. All right, thanks, and come back to Papa Croissant's Kitchen, and I'll try to keep my post up to date.